Okay. For my speech, I have my sister and both of my brothers listening to me. They are all over the age of 15 and they are, alive and present. So, there we go. Okay, so this assignment for our speech was we had to do a how-to speech. We have to teach people how to do something that we know how to do really well. So for my speech, I'm going to teach all of you how to write a flash fiction short story. I'm a creative writing student and I'm a fiction writer, and what I really focus in is flash fiction, which is a short story that's under 1,000 words. Well, I define it and some people define it as a story that's under 500 words. So it's a big challenge trying to fit characters and plot and a whole interesting arc into 500 words. So I made a couple of rules that can help people who like to write be able to fit such a big idea into such a small space. So rule number 1 is you have to control your characters. You can't have 10 characters in a story that's 500 words. It won't fit. You could do that in a 10-page short story, you could do that in a 20-page short story, but in something that's going to fit on one page, you need to keep it to 1, 2, or 3 characters. And that will help you focus on the complicated relationships that people have between them instead of trying to have this long, complex storyline. If you have 2 characters and you focus on a certain situation that's happening between the 2 of them, you can summarize their entire relationship in like one moment in time. Now, the second rule is to stay still. Don't have your characters in Ohio and then in Myrtle Beach and then in Africa for some reason and then all over the place. In a longer short story, you can have people moving around. I've written short stories that take place over the course of 3 generations. It's something that you can do when you have more room. But with a flash fiction, you have to stay as still as possible. And like I said, with the character thing, you are trying to summarize a theme in somebody's life or in a character's life in one moment in time. So rule number 3 is keep only what's necessary. So William Faulkner, he said that in writing you have to kill all your darlings. And what he means is even the beautiful lines that you think are super important and you can't believe they came out of your brain, you might have to get rid of them because they aren't necessary and they don't do anything for the story. They may be beautiful and they may make you feel like you're actually a writer because they're so beautiful and amazing, but if they don't do anything for the story, it's not going to do you any good. So when you're keeping everything simple and only keeping what's necessary, one rule is don't use adverbs. Don't say the man ran swiftly to his car. Say he sprinted to his car. You get done in 1 word, sprinted, what you were doing in 2 words, ran swiftly before. If you use strong verbs, then you aren't using all these superfluous adjectives and adverbs and words that are really kind of lazy if you can think of a verb, 1 word that will fit. It's important that if you're into flash fiction, read some poetry because poets know about economy of language. They don't use words that they don't need. They cut up sentence structures and don't even write things the way that a fiction writer would. But they can tell a whole story in 10 lines. So one thing that I did when I wanted to learn about flash fiction was I read a lot of poetry. So that's one thing that I would suggest. So rule number 4 is to share your writing because no set of rules that I make is going to be applicable to every single story that anybody writes. They're applicable to my stories and these are the rules that I use while I'm writing, but the best thing that you can do as a writer is to share your stories with people that you trust, people that you know are going to have your best interest at heart when they read it, and that will be able to make your stories the best that they can be and people that you trust to kill your darlings. Thank you. Okay, so
20 seconds left.
they're still here.
Oh, wait,
Very
you
good.
shut